Hi, I'm Tracy. My husband Nick and I come to France every year to enjoy French life. We search the markets for antiques and treasure for our business in New Zealand. Recently, we have bought a house in the southwest of France that we are renovating. Follow us on our journey as we take you through our weekly adventures. Well, today we're off to see our cousins in a place called La Rosette. It's about an hour and a bit away from us, so we're very fortunate that we have people that we know in our vicinity. So we're off to spend the weekend with them, or 2 days, and go to a couple of charity shops and just have a really nice time away from the work and the mess. So we'll show you our weekend. It's a miserable and cold day. We're trying to find a coffee with no luck. So we're off to the charity shop, which is a tiny little disappointing shop. I wasn't allowed to take any photos, but we did find some amazing things. And once we did them all up, quite pleased with what we got. This is our darling little room that we are staying in while we're at my cousin's. It's gorgeous. Very French classic. Little water closet on the left, which just holds a little basin to wash your teeth, and a closet at the other side. It's tastefully decorated. Doors you have to almost bend to get under. This is Jodie and Frédéric's boudoir. You can see the wallpaper and bedspread, and the curtains are all matching beautifully. Real traditional sort of French look. Huge fireplace. Nick and I have been invited to my cousin Jodie and Frédéric's house in La Rosette, and I thought I'd interview Jodie and just ask her a few questions about how she came to live in France. It's so exciting. So what was the reason you came?
Well, one reason was Fred's parents. They're getting on, so it was good to be close to them. And big reason also was travel, so we could be here and like that travel around France and Europe. Yeah, that's probably the main reason.
Lovely. And so you're obviously married a lovely Frenchman, so it was easy for you to come and live here, or was it difficult?
No, I had to go to classes and learn about the social system here. I had to do a very basic French test, and if I hadn't passed that, then I would have had to do French lessons.
Right.
But I passed.
You're lucky.
Yes. And then lots of paperwork, lots of interviews, and then I finally got my carte de séjour for 2 years.
So what does that mean?
That means I get like a Medicare card here, and I don't have to worry about anything for 2 years.
Great, fantastic. And so you've been here now
18 months.
18 months, okay.
Yeah.
And so for another 2 years you'll be able to...
No, I've got another probably 18 months.
Okay, okay. And since you've been living here, what is your love of France? What's the difference between Australia and here, as in, living and enjoying
everything. No beach here.
Right.
We're right in the middle of the country. Farms and rivers and trees and sunflowers and wheat and sorghum and and I'm not from the country, so it's very different. Food, market, seasonal food. So all winter I didn't eat a tomato because there wasn't any tomatoes growing. There was only basic vegetables. So that's very different than Australia. Cheese.
Delicious. So you've introduced us to so many delicious cheeses since we've been here this weekend.
Yes. And then we're living in a house that's over 300 years old.
Wow.
And a town, we're living next to a castle. Huh?
Oh yes, the chateau. That is amazing.
I know.
I'm going to have to go and take some photographs of it before we go home.
Yeah. And just, all the history here is amazing. You just everywhere, every village you go into, ruins. You can just imagine what it was like. And then you read about the Visigoths and the Crusades and the Romans and you walk on an old Roman track and it's just it is amazing.
Tingles.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, I love that about it too.
Yeah. It's the difference in Australia. Australia's beautiful. It's just gorgeous, but it's more you're there for the nature and everything. Here it's the culture and the history and
Yeah, that's true. And so you see yourself here for the next 18 months and then you'll go back home, or
no idea.
No idea.
No idea. It just means I can stay here. Otherwise, it was only 3 months at a time. Even though I'm married to a Frenchman, my 2 children have French passports or European passports, and they can't even speak French.
Neither can I, really. Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So I hope you've got some interesting information from Jodie. So you can see that we're sitting very close to this beautiful fire because suddenly it's gone from 35 to 12 degrees and we're freezing. It'll probably go back again to in the 20s, but for now we're just going to hug our margaritas and have a lovely night by the fire. This is Frederic. He's made us a little what do you call it?
Apparel, something to go with the apparel, something to nibble.
Maybe French
the radish
radishes
that you eat with salt, bread and butter.
What are you going to get? What are they?
Beetroot.
Oh, they're beetroot.
But those ones are baked.
I always wondered what they were.
They're raw.
Baked, they're nice.
Yum. And then what do you do with them after you've baked them? I mean,
They
after
already-
they've bought them and
You just
peel
slice
them
them
up.
like that.
Yeah,
Peel them and
we
slice
often just have put like a dressing, just like a
Ah,
Bit of
Yeah.
mustard.
cool.
yeah.
I'll try
Slice them
those
up,
out.
serve them like that.
Delicious.
Et voilà. Passez une très bonne journée, madame. Bon week-end.
Very cold today. Our coldest day.
Bonjour. Bonjour. Il fait oui parce que madame est salie. La pièce? Oui.
Jodie, my favourite thing. Delicious looking. Oh, what are you going to get?
That round one there. It's a little bit.
That looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, and this one.
Well, not necessarily. Would you like
This
something different?
Saint Felicilian is good. Felicilian. I've had that before.
Those
I'll
ones
get
there are
that.
local ones.
There you go.
With that little bitchy goat things on it. Merci.
This is what we're having for lunch today. Bonjour. Frederick is shucking oysters.
Uh-oh.
Hello.
Hello.
Look at that. Are they working?
Yeah, it works really good, this one.
Just got a new knife. This is our lunch. But it's not an easy feat. Yeah, and look at those oysters. We got them this morning at the market. I'll leave you to it. Monsieur Frederick is opening our champagne for the night.
No.
Voila. It's a very old one. We found it in the cellar. Do the honours.
Under the stairs.
Under the stairs.
But that's where
It sounded much more romantic in the cellar. The bottle is from the 90s.
Oh. Well, we tried.
Yeah, the colour.
Yes, oh, so many bubbles. It's lost a bit of its sparkle, but it could be okay.
More of a white wine.
Oh no, look at this. This is a feast of oysters for our lunch. A la Jodie and Frederick. Thank you very much.
There's a nice crunchy bread there
Can't
for your
wait.
soup.
Bit of
Oh,
wine.
jeez.
Thank you.
We didn't have any white wine, so we're going to have red. Help yourselves.
Bon appetit.
Bon appetit.
Bon appetit.
There goes.
No, I'm not talking.
Delicious. Been a while since
You got
I've
one
had an
through quite a
oyster.
few there, darling.
They're not all mine, darling. This is a communal bowl,
Oh, yeah, sure.
but I'm going to have one more,
Maybe two.
and that might make a dozen. Frederick's family, the Rossners, have had vineyards for many years in this area. When Jodie arrived in the mid-80s, they had 2 vineyards. She was introduced to the vendange, which is grape picking day, and the grapes are harvested and taken to the local cave, the co-op, in Saint Sardos, which was the closest co-op in the area. The family keg was taken to the cave to be filled with wine, depending on the amount of grapes that were picked. There were great memories of many people from all over the world. Friends and cousins arrived every year for the vendange, All the rooms of the house were filled to overflowing, while Frederic's mother would be in the kitchen cooking huge meals. Special meal on the night of the vendange was always the highlight.